Hey guys, this is Lambers of Invoked 101. Welcome back, and today we're going to be taking a look at the post-ban list, kind of first take at a Master Rule 5 version of Invoked Mekk-Knight. I do have another version of Invoked that I'm going to be uploading later, but I want to work on that a little bit more, get that a bit more refined. But yeah, this is kind of the updated Invoked Mekk-Knight post-ban list. I got a couple comments of people asking, hey, so what do we do now with the Invoked stuff? And there are people in the Invoked Facebook groups that I'm in that are talking about what do we play now that this is gone? What do we play? Specifically, like Mind Control was like the big card that this deck lost. But before we get into it, there are a few things down in the description. There's a link to our Patreon, our Teespring, our Cashapp, our Ko-fi, and our Discord. So if you like checking out any of those, feel free to, as well as we're doing a kind of cross promotion with Send Calamity on Instagram. If you like checking out his shop and picking up some of these awesome stickers, he has a bunch of different ones from different animes. These are just the 5Ds ones, not the 5Ds ones, but the Yu-Gi-Oh ones. You can check out his site down in the description, and you can use my code Invoked101 to get 20% off your purchase. So there you guys go. And with that out of the way, we're gonna set these spells and traps and the extra deck off to the side, get right into the main deck monsters. So I've talked about this deck a lot, so I'm going to be pretty quick at it. We're still playing 3 Alistair. Of course, the Heart and Soul deck, searches Invocation and is your main normal summon. So very good, very cool card. Then we also have 3 purple. Purple is, of course, like the main man Mekk-Knight, so gotta play 3 of him. I still play 2 Move Man. I think 2 Move Man is still correct just because he's big. Like 2400 is nothing to laugh at. Also, he moves stuff out of the way, which is not once per turn, so that's nice. And then 2 blue. I know a lot of people only like, they'll play 1 blue, but I kind of like him just because he's another body, and you can search it off purple, so I like that. And of course, I like red and yellow. I added red and yellow back into my deck list, and I've not regretted it. I like these 2. I still think that they're good, and yeah, definitely have come in handy in certain games. As far as other monsters go, I'm playing 2 Gameciel over the Phantasmes. I used to play 2 Phantasme in my deck, but I found that Gameciel is honestly better in a lot of situations. Just because this actually removes the threat. It doesn't give me just a body that I can't really do anything with. Because when Phantasme is there, yeah, it prevents targeting, but this straight out removes a monster, so. And alongside that, I'm playing 3 Ash for the negate, just because Ash is still one of the best hand traps in the format. It is going to be one of the best hand traps, and it has been. So then 3 DD Crow. Crow is one of those cards that I think it's going to be good moving forward, especially with all the spam decks that are coming out. There's a lot of graveyard heavy stuff that I could foresee, so using Crow to snipe stuff out of the graveyard I feel is going to be pretty good. I think you can also play Skullmeister over the Crow, but I think Crow, just straight up removing it from the graveyard entirely, is also good. So there we go, that's the monsters, and I hope I don't have to explain too much of the card choice right there, just because it is pretty similar. I think that's the exact same monster lineup for my last list. So then we're doing 3 Invocation, because Invocation is the best fusion spell. But yeah, the reason we play 3 is because you do want to hard draw it. Alistair is the big thing that a lot of players are going to hit with their effect veilers, their ashes, their impermanences. It's the card that they're going to hit. So hard drawing Invocation is not a bad thing, and I think playing 3 in a real Yu-Gi-Oh deck, not in a Duel Links deck, is the right way to go. So I also play 1 Book of the Law. This card, I wasn't playing this for a while, and I was side decking it, but I've put it in the main, and I've not hated it. You search this off of the Alistair link, because you can search Invocation or Book, and it's just a mask change for invoked monsters, which is kind of cool, because I think it's the only other deck that has a card kind of like that. And being able to go if you have to make a poopy fusion, if you have to make Kaliga, you can tag out Kaliga into Mekaba on your opponent's turn. In the battle phase, you can get another free invoked monster and swing. It's real nice. Then we also have 2 Super Poly. This is just for, because everything in your extra deck is a Super Poly target, so I don't think Super Poly is going to be super vicious going forward, but I definitely think that 2 of them is fine. And of course, I'm playing 3 Meltdown. This is another thing that gets hit with Ash a lot, because they don't want you to get Alistair, which is fine, because usually when I activate this, I already have Alistair. So, and of course, 1 Terraforming to go with that. What really does suck is when you get Terraforming Drolled and you get the Meltdown. That kind of sucks, but that's okay because we also play 3 Called By. There was a lot of Invoked players who weren't playing Called By in their deck, and I didn't fully understand why. The deck is kind of fragile, especially when it comes to like Ash and Baylor and stuff. Like the Mekk-Knights themselves aren't fragile, but the Alistair part, that is kind of weak sauce. So not saying that Alistair is a bad card, but I'm saying that like it's weak. So we got to play the Called Bys to help protect it. Alongside that, 2 Pot of Desires. Some people play 3. I like 2. I've been playing 2 in this deck for a really long time, and I don't hate it. You can set this card, special summon a Mekk-Knight, flip it up, draw 2. Very good. I've never had a problem with Pot of Desires. And then 2 Cosmic Cyclones. I side deck the 3rd one. Same with the Super Poly. I side deck a 3rd Super Poly and a 3rd Cyclone. I've talked about Cyclone in my previous videos. I'll mention it here. I used to main Twin Twisters, the two Twisters over the 2 Cyclones. Cyclone is much better in my opinion because your guys are really big. Like the Mekk-Knights, like they're all over 2,000, and then all your Invoked Fusions are also like over 2,000 just about, except for Kaliga. So being able to, so just like paying life points doesn't matter, but discarding a card does, because this deck doesn't generate nearly as much advantage as some of the other decks in formats. 1 Monster Reborn. So I don't play Mind Control anymore because it's only at 1, and it is a power 1 of, but like I felt that Monster Reborn was a better card to have a 1 of than Mind Control. I feel like Mind Control really shines when you have multiples of it and you get to actually use it and build more of your extra deck around it. This is just a generically good card. You can steal your opponent's monster with it, and you're gonna see mine's Spanish. Mine's a Spanish one from the tins. But yeah, I actually have a lot, it's weird. I have a lot of like Spanish cards. It's crazy. But yeah, so you can just steal one of your opponent's cards, bring back a purple, bring back a blue, whatever. You can do whatever you want with it. That's really the main point. It's also a 2nd copy of World Legacy Succession. This is another card that you can search. I play the Mekk-Knight link, so you can search this. And that's the main reason why I like that. And that's also like one of the big reasons I added the Monster Reborn, is so that way I have 2 Monster Reborns in my deck instead of just the 1. Because this legit is like, this is so close to just being, it is Monster Reborn in almost every sense, where target a monster in your graveyard, special summon it to a zone a link monster points to. That is effectively Monster Reborn. Like you just can't summon from opponent's graveyard. And then the last card I play, I believe my deck is 42. I like playing 42. I play 3 Infinite Impermanence. I finally got a 3rd Infinite Impermanence, and when Mind Control went to 1, first thing I did was take out the 2nd one and slap in the 3rd Infinite Impermanence, and then I was like, you know what, actually I should cut the other one and put in the Monster Reborn. I think 3 Impermanence is fine. It's a card that can't be called by, which is really nice. They have to like negate it with like an actual negate, so it does put a little bit of pressure. It is one of the most powerful cards in the game currently, in my opinion. Like I think Infinite Impermanence is legitimately a strong card. It also has the benefit of being a trap. So like if your opponent activates a trap and you have Mekka and you have this in your hand, you can just ditch this, and like, because there's been times I forget to set things and whatnot, so because I've been dumb, and you can negate traps with this. So yeah, Infinite Impermanence, definitely a cool card, definitely a good trap to have in the deck. And with that is it for the main deck. So we're gonna go into the extra. I'm not going to show off the side in this one because I've shown off the side a lot, and also there's like no tournaments for the next few weeks, so, or month really. 2 Mekka, because it's standard. 2 Mekka's best option. 1 Purg. You only need 1 because if you summon this, you're winning. The only time I've ever thought I needed another one was against Salamangreat, and that's because it's all fire. Then we have 1 Cocytus, or Cocytus. Sorry, 1 Cocytus, because you can make this with the Gamma Seal, which is kind of nice, especially if you can out the Gamma Seal with something. This thing can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, which is really nice. It's really strong against different decks, and having access to this with Gamma Seal, because originally I was just playing this in my extra deck and kind of being dumb, but now that I have the Gamma Seal in my main, this definitely does have a spot in my extra deck. And it also has 2,900 defense and can attack from defense position using its attack points. And I've definitely sat on this for a few games because it just can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and just started swinging and stuff. So it does put a little bit of pressure on the opponent at least. And then 1 Kaliga. Kaliga's still really good. Being able to, it's a dark super poly target, which is really cool with Alistair, and it says your opponent only gets 1 monster effect and can only attack with 1 monster. Both players can only attack with 1 monster. And Purgatrio, if you're able to summon Purgatrio Kaliga, you can swing. It says you can only attack with one monster, not only you can declare one attack, so Purgatrio can swing 1,000,000 times still, which is nice. And the final one is the other Super Poly target, which is Elysium. Elysium is still really strong, requires a one invoked monster, sorry, and a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, so that's really nice. I'm definitely looking forward to the new Invoked Algiotes fusion monster. Once we get that, that's going to be really nice. But yeah, this thing is really cool. It's a banishing dark hole that banishes everything, which is nice. And then the last fusion I play is Starving Venom. Starving Venom honestly could be something else. I've thought about swapping it out for something like the Ignister fusion, because that might be a better Super Poly target going forward. It requires a Cyberse and a Link, and that's pretty easy to do. I've also thought about Mud Dragon. I think Mud Dragon is a better Super Poly target moving forward than Starving Venom currently, because it just hits more things, in my opinion. Like, Mud Dragon can hit a lot more stuff than this can, so I might swap that out. For links, Almirage because Alistair, and Secure Guard because it makes Alistair a one-card Mekaba. And then one Alistair because you can make it really easily. One Mekk-Knight because it searches Monster Reborn. IP Masquerena and Unicorn. I've thought about cutting these for other things, especially moving into Master Rule 5. Real talk, these are probably going to get cut. One of these is, I might keep the Unicorn because Unicorn has outed things for me and I've hard made it before, but the Masquerena I almost never make, so that's probably going to turn into an Algotes in the future. And then the last monsters, the cards I probably make the most, Blackluster Soldier and Boral Sword. As far as extra deck stuff goes, I make these two all the time, depending on the situation. They require the same amount of monsters. This requires 3 plus effects, and this requires 3 monsters with different names. If I'm in the position where all I have is, like, if I have Alistair and 2 Mekk-Knights, I'll make this and then make Mekaba, and then this thing can't be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects, which is really cool. And then Boral Sword is Boral Sword. It's an OTK in your extra deck. This guy gets really big. This guy gets really big. It really depends on how you want to play it. You can honestly cut one of these. If I had to recommend cutting one, I would probably cut, like, this guy's just way too good. I'd probably cut the Boral Sword. And I almost did. I've switched out both of these and added both of them back at times. So really, but they're both good in their own right, depending on how it is. But yeah, that's it. That is it for my Invoked extra deck and the Invoked deck in general. I like this deck a lot. I make a very, like, strong point about how much I enjoy Invoked, because I've been playing Invoked Mekk-Knight since the Mekk-Knights came out. Like, they probably came out and then there was like a month in between where I didn't have the Mekk-Knights, and then I was able to scoop up all the Mekk-Knights in one fail swoop, except for like some blues. But like, I got 3 purples, and no, I got 1 purple, 1 blue, and then like 3 indigo and everyone else. So yeah. But with that said, thank you guys for watching, and before I let you guys go, one more time, down in the description, there's a link to our Cash App, our Ko-fi, our our Discord, our Patreon, our Teespring, and there's also a link to, like I said, Send Calamity. So if you want to check out and get some stickers, we are doing a promotion. You can hit that with the Invoked 101 on checkout, so that way you get like 20% off. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.